So let's just see what all are the coding questions which were asked in FAANG company's interview. So here are some of them. These are approximately 10 questions and we are going to solve them all together into this video. So stay on this video. This is going to be very interesting, and let's just jump and try to solve each of them. Okay, so this is the first question. This question was asked in Amazon and one more company's interview. Okay, so this was asked in Amazon and DoorDash. Okay, so here is something which we have already solved, but I just remove that and let's read the question once again. You have been asked to find the job titles of the highest paid employees. Okay, so there are two tables, worker and title. So in worker you have the detail of salary, and into this you have the detail of title. So what you need to do is you need to find the maximum salary, and then for that you need to get the title. This is as simple as that. Okay, your output should include the highest paid title or multiple titles with the same salary. Okay, so let's just try to do that. Okay, so what I can do is, if you have used data, to make it simple, what you can do is from the worker you can find maximum salary and you can fetch the details, right? Worker ID and ref ID are the common columns. Okay, so there are multiple ways of doing this. The way which I am going to take is, first I will find the maximum salary, and along with worker ID and salary I will keep that data somewhere, and then I will use that to join with this, and then I'll get that answer. Okay, so in the output what is expected, let's just see. We only require the title for that particular output. Okay, so let me just call max salary, or let me say like this, worker dot worker, and out of this I need to take salary dot max. So the value which I got is this. Let me just store this in a variable called max sal. All right, so into that I just store this value. Now the next thing, I need to filter this data frame for this maximum value, right? So let me just say worker, and what are the columns that I want to take out of this? So there are two things which I require, worker ID and the salary. All right, worker ID and salary, that I need to filter. So I will say query, and into that, whenever you're using query, into double quotes you can write the where clause, same as SQL. Okay, so here I would say salary equals to max sal. There seems to be some problem. No, max sal is not defined. How could it be possible that max sal is not defined? So if this is something which is not working, there is the other way. The other way is, what I'll do is I will just do this thing. Okay, let me remove this. I would say worker, and out of this worker salary equals to max sal. Let's see if this works. It should work. Here is what we got. Now I need, what are the columns that I need? Worker ID, and next thing which I need is salary. All right, so worker ID is primarily something which I needed, otherwise that's just fine. Okay, worker ID we got, and let me store it in workers, another data frame. So here is what I got. Now the next thing which we need to do is do the joining. Okay, so in output what we require is just the title, just title something which we needed. Okay, so let's just say title dot merge, and into that I'm going to merge workers on worker ID. So you see, one thing which should notice is in title column name is different, and in worker table the column name is different. Okay, so let's just say left on. So left table is your title table. Okay, left on this, right on worker ID. So this is very simple thing. Okay, now you got this. Next thing which you require is you need to produce only one column, which is this, the title thing, right? And do we need to arrange this? Your output should include the highest paid title or multiple titles with the same salary. Okay, so let's just produce the column which is needed. There is just one column which is needed, and that is worker title. Here's what we got. This is exactly what was needed. Let's check whether this is correct or not. It says it is right. Bravo, we just solved this. I hope it was simple for you to understand. Let's move to the next question. The next question is asked in Airbnb, number of units per nationality. Let's have a look on the data. While it is opening, it is opened. Okay, again I will just remove this all from here. The next thing which it says is find the number of apartments per nationality that are owned by people under 30 years. So this is one filter which we need to use. Output the nationality along with the number of apartments. So we need to count the by nationality, right? Sort records by apartments, count in descending order. So three things. First we need to put the filter, then we need to take the count, and then we need to sort that. Let's see how the expected output should look like. It should be like this, nationality and the count. All right, now let's just see over here, Airbnb hosts and Airbnb units. So into this you have nationality, and into this you have the apartment details. Okay, unit detail. So we need to join both for the purpose of, so this data frame you will use to put the filter on age and pick the nationality. This data frame, why we would require this data frame is because you see unit type, here are the apartments which we need to filter. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, to keep it simple, I'm going to first merge both of these two data frames, right? So let's say Airbnb host dot merge, and the next data frame which we need to have is Airbnb units, and we need to put this join on host ID. Okay, so common column is named in the same way in both of these two, hence we don't need to worry about all those things. Okay, so both of these two things are merged over here. Now the next thing which let's just check the shape of it. Oh, we got 352. Originally these many records were not available. Okay, so there seem to be some duplicates. Okay, so let's call drop duplicates, and now let's just check the shape of it. We got 21. You see how many duplicates were there? All of them were dropped. All of them are dropped. Now the next thing which we're gonna do is we need to take count by nationality. No, we need to put the filters, right? So let's just apply filter query, and filter we need to apply on age. Let me put this way, age should be less than 30 years, and the unit type should be apartment, right? You see, unit type should be apartment. So let's say unit type equals to apartment. We've applied that as well. Let's check the count, how many count we got. So now this is reduced to 2, just 2 are there. Next thing which we need to do is, in the output what is expected is nationality and apartment only. So let's just try to put pivot on top of this pivot table, and into that I'm going to use index nationality nationality, and then into values I'm going to use any of the column can be used. Let's use host ID, host ID, and then aggregation we need to do using the count function. Now how does it looks like? There seem to be some problem. Pivot table got an unexpected values, spelling is incorrect, man. Okay, so we got this just says 2. Now you can just do reset index, so this will show the nationality as well. Okay, nationality USA, host ID is 2. Now there is one more thing which we need to do: sort records by the apartments count in descending order. Now on top of this we can say sort values, and here we need to use this particular column to sort the data, and that we need to put in descending order. So we're going to say ascending equals to false, ascending equals to false. Done. So you see, this is what it is. Now let's just try to check this whether the answer is correct or not. Yes, the answer is correct. We solved it, right? So what you see is here I have combined many things in one statement itself, right? If you want, you can do it in pieces. For example, if you want, you can first do the merging and remove the duplicates and store that data into one data frame. Then on top of that you can apply the filter condition. Okay, then again you get another data frame, and then on top of that you can apply the pivot table. You can use pivot table, see, using the reset index, and then you can sort the data. I just hope that it was not too complicated. If it is too complicated, then feel free to let me know into the comment section. I'll be more than happy to clarify that. Let's move to the next question. Next question comes from Google and one more. So this has been asked in Google and Netflix. Let me remove this solution which is already there. Let me just remove that. So here what it says is count the number of movies that Abigail Breslin, I'm sorry for my pronunciation, was nominated for an Oscar. So let's have a look on the data frame. Luckily this time we have only one data frame. So here are the nominees. We need to apply this filter. This is one filter on nominee. Okay, we need to apply this filter. Here it says count the number of movies that Abigail Breslin was nominated for an Oscar. Okay, so here is the nominee, and out of that we need to filter for that particular nominee, and we need to take the count. It's very simple. So let's just start with filtering the data frame. So here I'm just going to say this dot query, and into that I'm going to use nominee equals to, that should be this name. I will just copy this. All right, and let's just put it here. Here you go. So here we got that there is just one, but because there could here there is just one record, but in real life you might have many records. So to avoid that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a pivot on top of this. Okay, so let's just say, though it is not needed over here, but let's just do this because you never know, in case if you have more than one, then how would you do that? Okay, so for that purpose I'm just going to put the filter condition on this, and for filter I will, sorry, not filter, pivot, to group the data and take the count. So I will take the count by nominee. In the expected output, what is expected is it just says 1. Okay, so let's just do this. Any one of these two you can use, but I'm just going to use nominee as index to group by. Whatever we put in index is used for grouping, right? And then for values, what I can use is, you can use anything. So what I'm going to use is, let's say, winner. That's what I'm going to use in value, but that hardly matters. If you want, you can avoid that also, right? And here the function which I need to use is count. Now let's see there is just one count. Okay, now does it ask us to sort the data as well? No, There is no sorting needed over here. If you want, you can do the reset index. So here is what we got. Let's just check whether the answer is correct or not. The answer is correct. So this is sorted. Now let's review this. First thing which we did is we filtered the data for expected for a particular nominee. Then we summarized that and we just did the reset index. I just hope that it was clear to you. Now let's just move to the next one. Next one is asked in Facebook or Meta. Let's just have a look at the question. Here the question says, find all posts which were reacted to with a heart. For such post, output all columns from Facebook post table. So there are two tables. One is for reaction and then the other one is for Facebook posts. So what it is asking is you pick all the columns from this table, but that should be filtered for only those reactions where the reaction was equals to heart, right? So what we can do is we can either first, if the data set is to use, it's recommended to first put the filter on this data frame and then do the merging. Okay, but here the data size seems to be small, so what I'll do is I'll simply start with merging the data and then I can put the filter and all those things. Okay, so let's just start it. So here what it says is it require all the columns from Facebook posts, so I'm going to use this as the left table dot merge. And over here it's not necessary that you always need to use this as a left table. You can use this as right table also, and in how parameter you can define that as right. So next table which I need to merge is this one, Facebook reactions. Or let me do one thing. Let me do this. Let's just put the filter on this first. Okay, here the filter is going to be on Facebook reactions, and over here reaction we are going to use as heart. This data needs to be filtered on. So we got it. Okay, the spelling error. There are just two records into this. Now we need to use this thing and we need to apply we need to make a join with post and then produce all the columns. Okay, so out of this, what all that we would require, we require only ID, post ID, so that we could do the joining, right? So let me just say post ID. Okay, so here is what we got. Because this is same, so what I can do is I can remove the duplicates also, drop duplicates. Now this minimizes your data size a lot. Okay, now I will just say it reactions. Okay, the another data frame I created use same reaction. Okay, now the next thing which we need to do is we need to apply this thing. We need to merge this data with Facebook posts, right? So let's just say Facebook, or maybe we can do the query as well, right? So the another way I'm going to use is, let's just go ahead with merge only, and then here I'm going to use reactions on post ID. I think it should be fine now. Here is what we got. There's just one record. Let's see what was expected. Yeah, this is exactly what was there, right? You see over here we got that. Now let's just check whether the solution is correct or not. Yeah, it is correct. So we are done with solving this question as well. Next question is Meta Facebook, we just solved. Now the next one is find matching host and guest in a way that they are both of the same gender and nationality, right? So let's just check this one. Let's just check this out. So I'm just going to remove this first, the solution. Here it says find matching host and guest pairs in a way that they are both of the same gender and nationality. Output the host ID and the guest ID of matched pair. Okay, so there are two data sets. One is host dataset, the other one is guest dataset. Okay, and now we need to merge both of them, and we need to find wherever host and guest both have same nationality and same gender. That is what it is asking for. Find matching host and guest pairs in a way that they are both of the same gender and nationality, right? So for that, what you can do is you can put the merging, you can do the merging on nationality and gender. Let's just do it quickly. It's very simple, right? So Airbnb host dot merge Airbnb guest, Airbnb guest, right? And what exactly we need to use as joining column? That should be nationality and gender. Okay, so let's just say on nationality and gender. All right, let's just merge this. We got it merged. Now to be on safer side, all right, so we just merged it. After that, what we require to do is find matching host and guest pairs in a way that they both are of same gender, and output the host ID and the guest ID of matched pairs. Okay, so let's just have a look at this thing, right? Host ID and guest ID, right? So what I'll do is here, let's just filter for host ID. Now this is not a filter but the selection, guest ID. Now you see over here, this is what we got, right? Now what you can do is you can do the duplicate removal, right? So let's just put it drop duplicates, and now see the answer. It looks similar, is it? Or it's different? 0915 0915 21, etc, etc, etc. So here it can show only 5 records, so that's why we are not seeing all of them. Let's just see if the answer is correct or not. Oh, the answer is correct. You see, we got it. So it was very simple, right? We just merged the data on nationality and gender, and we kept only those columns which were expected to be in the output, and we removed the duplicates, and we were done. So what we learned in this particular question is how to do the merge, how to put specific columns only, how to select only specific columns, and then how to remove the duplicates. These 3 things we learned into it. Now we are done with this question. This question was about find matching hosts and guests. Find matching host and guest. We got this. Next question comes is popularity of hack. Let's just see this question. What this hack is. What the hack is this? So I'm just going to remove this. So let's just see what it says. It says Meta or Facebook has developed a new programming language called Hack, which is fine. To measure the popularity of Hack, they ran a survey with their employees. So whatever they have their employees, they did a survey to check out how popular that language is going to be. The survey included data on previous programming familiarity. Okay, as well as the number of years of experience, age, gender, and most importantly satisfaction with Hack. Okay, due to an error, location data was not collected. Okay, so in what location the survey is happening, that couldn't be captured, but your supervisor demands a report showing average popularity of Hack by office location. So you require the office location, but location has not been captured. Luckily, the user IDs of employees completing the survey were stored. So all those employees who participated in survey, their IDs were captured. Okay, based on the above, find the average popularity of hack per office location. Output the location along with the average popularity, right? So in the output, two things which you require: one, the location where the survey was done, and what was the average popularity of that location. Let's just have a look at the output which is expected. So you see in India 7.5, Switzerland 1, UK, etc, etc, etc. Okay, now let's just have a look on the data. There are two data frames. One is Facebook employees and then the hack survey. Okay, and the common column which you see, which you can see, is ID and employee ID, right? So from a popularity, something which you can get from the survey, and you can get what location you can get from this table. Okay, from this table you can get the location. So what I'll do is I'll go ahead and do the merging first. I'll go ahead and do the merging. Let's keep it in a straightforward way. Facebook employees, I'm just going to say this dot merge, and into this I'm going to put this table as the right one on. So there are two different columns, so I will have to use left on ID. This is the left table, and right on I need to use employee ID. Let's just run this. Bravo, here is what we got. We are done with merging the data frame. Now if you want, you can do the duplicate removal. Drop duplicates. Let's run this. This is also sorted, right? Next thing which we require to perform is, here it says, now we need to take the popularity, average on popularity by nation. Okay, so now if you want, you can store this in merge data frame, in one another data frame, or if you want, you can continue on this itself, right? So what I'll do is I'll continue over here only, right? So I will use pivot table that I need to do on nationality, and I can use any of the column to take the count. Okay, no, we can't do that, because particularly we require to calculate the popularity average, right? Average popularity. So in the values, we need to use that column on which we need to perform the mathematical operation. So popularity is something on which we need to apply the mean function. Okay, so let's just say ag func, which sort of function that you want to use. So the one which I want to use is mean. There is some error, nationality, spelling error in nationality. Let me just find it quickly. What's the correct spelling? Okay, nationality is not required, but the location. Sorry, from the previous question I had that in my mind. Now let me just say reset index. Bravo, we got that. You see the four countries: India, Switzerland, UK and USA. We got that. It's amazing, right? Let's just see if the answer is correct or not. It says the answer is correct. So it was very simple, right? What we did is we just merged the data frame first. Here we just did the merging of the data frame, and then we dropped the duplicates. So after the merging, I usually use drop duplicate just in case if it is having, and we don't need to worry because it is removing the duplicate if entire row is duplicate. It's not specific to any one column, so we don't need to worry about that, right? Even there is no duplicate, you can feel free to use it whenever you are doing the merge, to be on safer side. Okay, then it comes the pivot table. So pivot table I'm using to aggregate the data, right? So in aggregation, I'm doing the aggregation by location, and what I'm trying to check is popularity. Calculation which I'm performing is on popularity, and what sort of calculation I'm performing is average, to find the average. And this we do to reset the index, because we don't require the index. Even if you don't do this, I don't think the answer will be incorrect. You see, oh, it says that is important. Okay, that is important, so we need to do the reset index. All right, now let's just run this again. You see, it is correct. Bravo, we are done with this particular question also. In case if you get any doubt, put that into the comment section. I'll definitely try to help you out. Okay. Next one is, this question was from Facebook or Meta. Okay. What was this question? Popularity hack. Where is the popularity? This is done. Popularity hack. How many we are left with? 4 more questions to go. Stay with me, guys. 4 more questions. So this question was asked in Amazon and Shopify. Again, I'm going to remove this solution from here. Okay, let's just see what the question is. Again, this is also having 2 tables. Find order details made by Zil and Eva. Right, there are 2 customers for which we need to find the order details. Consider the Zil and Eva as first name of the customers. Okay, output the order date, details and cost along with the first name. So in output, 4 things are expected: first name, order date and order details and the cost. Order records based on the customer ID in ascending order. Okay, right, let's just go ahead and try doing this. Okay, so let's have a look on the data frame first. Sample data frame. So here you see ID looks like this. Then what next? Let's just see the order detail data also. Okay, so here we have the ID and cost ID. Good to go. So what we need to take care of is, here we have the ID column and into the second data frame we have the cost ID. So we need to make the join with ID and cost ID, not on ID and ID. Okay, see, this is the customer ID. We need to use this from this data frame to make the join, and from this data frame we need to filter the data only for Zil and Eva, right? Zil and Eva. So let's just start with it. Here customers, this is the data, first data frame dot merge, and into the next data frame which I'm going to use, which we have is orders. Right, here is what we got. Left on ID and right on cost ID. This will be merged, and like, so here what I'm trying to do is inner join I'm trying to do, right? So that whatever is common in both of the 2 data frames, that will come out of it. Okay, and so for that purpose, like I always do, so I would say remove duplicates. Let's run this. Here's what we got. You see, now the next thing which we need to do is apply the filter. Okay, so for that I'm going to use query, and into the query the first name which we need to use, first name in. So there are going to be more than 1 customer, and those 2 customers which we require to filter is Zil and Eva. Let's put Zil. The next one is Eva, EVA, Eva. Let's just filter it. All right, we got this data also. Now what next? So find order details made by Zil and Eva, that we got. Consider the Zil, and that is okay. Output the order date, details and cost along with the first name. Order records based on the customer ID in ascending order. So next thing which we're gonna do is sorting the data. Okay, so over here I would say sort values by order records based on the customer ID by cost ID ascending equals to false. Let's just run this also. This is done. This is sorted. Zil and Eva are done over here. Next thing which we need to do is we need to pick specific columns only, right? What are the columns that is expected in output? That is ID, first name. Let's just put them ID. Then we require first name. Then we require last name. No, not last name is not expected. ID is also not expected, I guess. So what it is asking is output the order date, details and cost along with the first name. Okay, so ID is not needed. That's done. Then what next? It says order date. So order date is here. Oops. Order date. The next question is, the next column which we need to put is order date, order details. So where is the order detail? Here is order detail. Let me just put that also, order detail. Okay, 3 things are done. What else? What else is needed? Come on, come on, come on. Let me see an expected output directly. So first name, order date, order detail, and total order cost. Let me just hit quickly from here. Okay, that will be quick. So here is what I got. Now let's just see how many records that we got. 2. So looks like sorted, isn't it? Did it ask us to sort also the data? So that was needed to be sorted on customer ID, which we have done, but still it is not matching to this thing. There is some problem. Let me just figure that out. EVA is also over here, but in output, expected output, EVA is not available. Is there something that we are missing over here? Find order details made by ZIL and EVA. Consider the ZIL and EVA as the first name. Output order date, details and cost along with the first name. Order cost based on the customer ID. Why is that so? Why are we getting EVA in the output, which is not expected? Duplicates I have already dropped. Let me just check whether the answer is correct or not. Oh, answer is correct. Unnecessarily I was worrying about. So because over here it is only showing the top 5 records, that's why that's why it is not coming up. Okay, but here our answer is correct. You see over here. Bravo, we solved this question also. So just to give you a revision, what we did is, first we merged the data, then we removed the duplicate, then we filtered for those 2 customers only which were asked in the question. Then we sorted the value using customer ID, which was again asked in the question. Here I did ascending equals to false here, but here it simply says ascending. It should be in ascending order. So this is something which I have done incorrectly. Now if I do this, the first thing which will come is ZIL, and then EVA comes in the last, right? So that's why that was the difference from the expected output. Okay, first name, order date, and then I just kept only those columns which were asked to keep in the question, right? And our answer is correct. Done. We are done with this also. Let's move to the next question. This question was asked in Amazon and Shopify, that is order details. Ooh, order details. Now next comes is customer details. Let's just find that also. Here I'm just going to remove the solution from here. Here, find the details of each customer regardless of whether the customer made an order or not. Whether the customer made an order or not, we don't need to worry about it. Output the customer's first name in the output. What is expected, that's what they are saying over here. We need to keep first name, last name and the city along with the order details. So 4 things we require to keep: first name, last name, city and order details. Okay, you may have duplicate rows in your result due to customer ordering several of the same time, so we remove the duplicates also. Order sort records based on the customer's first name and the order details in the ascending order. I just hope that it is clear. Now let's just move ahead and do this. Find the details of each customer regardless of whether the customer made an order or not. So customer has to be on left hand side and order will go on right hand side, and we need to do a left join because it says we need to keep all the customers, right? Doesn't matter whether they did any sort of order, whether they made any purchase or not. Okay, let's just start with it. So here I'm going to say customers dot merge, and into that orders I'm going to use as the right table on. Okay, let me just have a look on the common column. That's the that's something which I really think they should specify, clarify in the question, so that the candidate will get idea. Again the same thing, from this one we are going to use id, and from next data frame we are going to use customer id. Okay, so let's just say left on id, the next right on cust id, cust underscore id, and we need to make the left join, right? Let's just say left. Oops, there seemed to be some error. What is the error? Customer spelling error. Customers, it should be customers, not customer. We got it. Okay, now if you remember in the question it indicated that it might have duplicate records, so let's just remove them. Drop duplicates, right? We just drop the duplicates. Next thing which we need to do is we need to keep specific columns which are expected in the output, right? So what we need to keep is first name, last name, city, and order details. Let's just do that, and you know that very well how to do that, right? So let's just say first name, then comes last name, then comes city, and then comes order details. I'm not sure if that's a correct name or correct column name or not. Let me just have a look quickly if we have. Yes, order details, yeah, that's correct. Here you see, this is what we require, right? Let's just check the answer. Yes, this is how it looks like. Other than that, what it says is, along with order details, you may have duplicates. That is done. Several of the same items. Sort the records based on the customer's first name and order details. So there are two columns basis on which we need to do the sorting. So to sort the data, so far you have understood sort values, and into that we are going to put, there are two columns which we need to use for sorting. First name. So remember, if you have more than one column to use as sorting or for any purpose, you need to put that as list. Okay, list. So first name, and then the next column which we need to use for sorting is order details. Okay, order details. We got this over here, you see. Now let's just check whether the answer is correct or not. Yeah, the answer is correct, you see. Bravo, we are done with that. Let's see what was the expected output. It was like this only. It says Emma, Eva, etc, etc. So here we got Emma, Eva, Farida, etc. So I hope you understood this also. What we did is we just first merged the data frame. There were two different columns which were common. In the left data set, the common column was id. In the right data set, it was cust id. And because we needed to keep all the customer irrespective whether they had made any purchase or they placed any order or not, so that's why we had to do the left join. If you wanted to start with, if you were keeping the orders at the left hand side, then you should have to use over here as right join. Then we dropped the duplicates because it was already insisted into the question itself, and then we picked or selected only those columns which were asked in the question to keep, and then we sorted the data using first name and order details into the ascending order. Hope it was simple for you. Let's move to the next question. Customer details we are done. We just did customer details or the order details. Customer details, and previously what we did is order details. Okay, now let's move. We are left with only two questions. Bravo. Let's just see the next one. Count number of users events performed by MacBook Pro users. Oh, let's just see. The premium customers, isn't it? Again, I will just remove this solution. This is not good. Okay, so over here, count number of users events performed by MacBook Pro users. Okay, output the result along with the event name. Sort the result based on the event count in the descending order. So here it says count number of users, which means we need to use pivot table or group by, right? So I'm using pivot table. I'll be using pivot table. Then it says performed by MacBook Pro users. So there could be multiple users, but we need to filter it only for the MacBook Pro users. Okay, so filter is also needs to be filter is something which also requires to be performed. Then output the result along with event name. This is column selection. We need to select particular columns only. Then sort the result based on event count in descending order, and then we need to do the sorting as well. So there are 4 things which we need to perform. And the good news is you have only one table to use. Bravo. So you don't need to do the merging. Let's see the data. So the data is, you see here, the device type is given. It must have MacBook Pro, you see over here. So this is something which you should be careful. MacBook Pro, you see how it is written over here, but if you see in question, it is written like this. So if you are confused, to be on safer side, you should always use the lower function to make it lower. But here I just saw that, let's just go ahead and try to do this. Okay, count the number of users. Let's just start with counting itself. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, let's say the data frame name. Where's the data frame name? This is the data frame name. Here I'm going to use pivot table. How should the output look like? So that, I mean, just it will be simple for us, right? Event name. So I will just do the index equals to event name. If you're someone who is absolutely new to Pandas, I would highly recommend to check out the Pandas playlist. Over there I have explained pivot table in an absolute layman way, okay, from the perspective of Excel. That will be very simple for you to understand. Okay, so in pivot table, index equals to event name, and what is it that we need to count number of events performed by MacBook Pro users, right? So anything that we can pick, or anything that we can use to do the counting, perform counting. Okay, so I'm just going to use user ID in the values parameter. Values equals to this, and add func I'm going to use is that's something which I'm going to use count. All right, so this is done. Now reset index. Rest index. What is rest index? All right, so here's what we got. That right now there is one thing which we need to keep. There was one filter, if you remember. We needed to use MacBook Pro only MacBook Pro users needs to be filtered out. So if you want, you can apply filter on top of this, but I would recommend to use over here, let's just say dot query, and into this I would use device. Let's just put it into this, and over here I would say MacBook Pro. Let's pick this MacBook Pro. Bravo, we got that. Home page 8. Let's just see the expected output. Okay, home page 8, like message 3, etc, right? So what we are primarily doing is, first we filter the data frame for MacBook Pro users only, and then we summarized that using the pivot table, right? So if you see over here, we have used the pivot table for this purpose, and we then reset the index. It is also asking you to sort the result based on event count in descending order. So this is the count. On basis on this, we need to sort the data. So let's just say sort values. Into this we are going to use user underscore ID ascending equals to false. So this will arrange in the descending order. We got it. We solved this. Now let's just check whether the answer is correct or not. Yeah, it is correct. You see, the answer is absolutely correct. Okay, so we are done with this also. Now we are heading to the last question. Number of bathrooms and bedrooms. Airbnb question. Again, the next question is something which was asked in Airbnb interview. So I'm just going to remove this and let's just see. Over here what it says is find the average number of bathrooms and bedrooms for each city's property types. Okay, output the result along with the city name and the property type. Okay, let's just see what are the data frames that we have. Oh, we got only one data frame. Find the average number of bathrooms and bedrooms. Okay, so let's see the data frame. How does it look like? So here's the data frame. This is how the data frame looks like. Okay, now let's just see what is the expected output. This is how the output should look like. City, property type, number of bathrooms and bedrooms and bath. This is very simple question, trust me. So what it is particularly asking is, it is asking to find the average number of bathrooms and bedrooms, which means we need to perform the aggregation, and to perform the aggregation what we use is pivot table. Let's jump and try to do this quickly. So this is the data frame name, dot pivot table. So anywhere if it is asking any sort of aggregation like count, sum, average, etc., you directly can go ahead and use the pivot table. This is the simplest one which I find. And in the index, so what all are the columns that it is asking you to group the data by? So it is asking you to group the data by, in the output result along with city property types. In each city's property type, output the result along with city name and property type. So city name and property type is something which we need to use as group by parameter. So let's just go down and see where the city is. So the city is city, named as city here. This is what I was trying to indicate, this one. Okay, city is done. Next thing which we need is property type, is something which it was asking. So here we have property type. We got that, property type. Now the next thing, in the values which we need to put those columns on which we want to perform the calculation. So number of bathrooms, it is asking to perform the calculation on number of bathrooms and the bedrooms. So let's just see where that is. This is the sample data which we are seeing. Username, price type, property type, accommodation. You see, number of bathrooms are given over here and the number of bedrooms must also be given over here. Bedrooms, you see. So these are the two columns on which we need to perform the aggregation. So bedrooms, and then I'm going to say bathrooms, right? The kind of aggregation we need to perform is, what sort of aggregation it is asking us to perform? Simple count, isn't it? Average number of bathrooms, sorry, my bad. We need to perform mean. Let's just run that. We executed it, and again we need to do the reset index, so that whatever we give in the index, that should come out. Reset index. Let's just run this. Ooh, we got it over here, right? Anything else that we need to perform? Output the result along with city name and the property type. It is not asking us to do the sorting. Let me just try and check the solution if that, yeah, that is correct. Yeah, we got it. So here it first is Boston, bathroom is, average number of bathroom is 1 and bedroom is 1. In the expected output also that was the same, apartment, etc., etc. So with this we are done with all these 10 questions. We are done with all these 10 questions. I just hope that it was easy for you to understand. What I'll do is, in the description section I will give this link so that it will be easy for you to go through it. I will also try to put each of these solutions, okay, each of these solutions over there in the description section, so that if you require you can refer to this for the help. Just in case, if any time if you want to do this kind of solution, if you want to perform all this solution in, let's say, Jupyter notebook, so what you can do is you open the question, any of the question. Let's say I open this question, okay, because this is something which I have already solved. So let me just remove this and let me just reactions and let me just run this query. Okay, not the reactions, man. So Facebook reactions, the data frame name is Facebook reactions. Run this, and when you run this tab, the data shows at the bottom. What you can do is you can just open it in a new tab. Over here you got all the data, so select this all, put that into Excel, save that Excel, and then you can import the Excel file in your Jupyter notebook, and over there you can use Pandas to solve this question, right? So I just hope again that it was simple for you to understand and you enjoyed this session. If you really enjoyed and you liked it, feel free to give a thumbs up, share it with your friends so that it could be helpful for them as well. And for our motivation, do not forget to subscribe the channel. And if you want, you can hit the bell icon also if you don't want to miss any notification from our channel. When you click the bell icon, what will exactly happen? The moment we upload any video, you get a notification, and that helps you not to miss any of the video or any of the content which we are going to put on our channel, and that happens in real time. So please do these things and you would always be up to date. Thanks once again for giving your important time, and wish you good luck.